Today is International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. It is marked every year by the United Nations on the 26th of June, and this is to strengthen action and cooperation in achieving a world free of drug abuse. This year's World Drug Day campaign recognizes that effective drug policies must be rooted in science, research, full respect for human rights, and a deep understanding of the social, economic, and health implications of drug abuse. Drug abuse is a challenge that touches on the lives of millions worldwide, from individuals who are struggling with substance use disorders to communities grappling with the consequences of drug trafficking and organized crime. And the theme for this year is Invest in Prevention. It aims to amplify efforts in combating the global drug problem. Joining me to discuss this is anti-drug advocate and the founder, Select Initiatives, Sani Irakpo. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News at 1. Nigeria has what you can call a huge burden, with about 14.3 million people aged 15 to 64 battling drug abuse. How concerned are you about this data, and what's your assessment of efforts to tackle this menace?
Well, thank you so much for having me on TVC. I'm very, very much worried and concerned about the heightened state of drug abuse in Nigeria, realizing that those that are involved are young people who are supposed to be contributing to the growth and development of the country. As we have seen from our community-based approach and campaign against drug abuse in Nigeria, we have seen that age 18 are the most vulnerable to this canker. And if you look at this demographic, these are young people supposed to be contributing. So for me, as an individual, as a progressive thinker who understand that nations can only be built based on the ideology of bringing young people to the political inclusion, either economic or social. So in our case, these young people are dying of drug abuse. So I am deeply concerned. I'm worried. And we need to speed up our actions in tackling this. And over time, for the last 3 years, as I would say, the emergence of Brigadier General Bugamawa, retired but not tired, has been in the forefront in helping to combat this menace. As you can see the arrests every day. So I must tell you that we have a lot in our hands if we must build a 21st century Nigeria, where the young people need to contribute to the growth and development of the country. So for me as a person, I am very, very worried.
All right, so let's talk about how government and even individuals can key into the theme of this year's commemoration, invest in prevention, so that we can tackle this head on.
Thank you so much for that question. I must tell you sadly that over the years, this is my 14th year in the campaign against drug abuse in Nigeria, and we have not seen government, we have not seen corporate individuals, even Nigerians throwing their weight behind the fight against drug abuse. If not for the recent approach that the Bugamawa-led administration of the NDLEA is taking on board. So if we must tackle this issue, we must involve everybody. It is community-based approach. It is society-based approach. And if you look at the theme for this year, investing in prevention. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. From all research from the United States, that if you invest $1 in prevention, you are saving the government, even the individual, $10 in treatment. So why are we waiting for our people to slide into drug abuse before we take action? So for we to avert that scenario, there is a need for we to invest in prevention. With this prevention, there is a drug demand reduction strategy that must be put in place, that must be carried out by individuals, corporate organizations, and the government, particularly NDLEA. I know they are doing a lot, but we need a lot of cooperation to really achieve the desired result. If you look at how drugs are proliferating in our society, and then for youth, and if we don't take a drastic action in addressing this menace, we have a lot of issues that we will continue to combat with. So I'm using this stadium to call on the federal government and the able leadership of the president who is able accountable. That he should reverse a projection. We know he's a father who believes in young people.
All right, Mr. Rako. Indeed, and you know, the UN has mentioned that this year's campaign actually recognizes that effective drug policies have to be rooted in science, research, full respect for human rights, and other factors. So hopefully, in all of this coming together, we have something to really help us in our fight against drug and substance abuse. I must sincerely appreciate you for talking to us. Sani Rako is founder, Select Initiatives. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.